Tuesday.
The 7-member committee examining the evidence in the censure motion against Minister Persis Namuganza was left shocked after waiting for hours without the minister or her lawyer appearing today.
The minister didn't show up.
Chairperson to the select committee, Mwine Mpaka, revealed that while he had written to Namuganza and informed the Prime Minister as well, the minister has not appeared and without any communication. He said the lawyer also told him that he had not received any instructions from the minister and he would not appear on her behalf.
We invited the Honorable Minister the second time to appear today before us. We waited for over 1.5 hours and the minister didn't show up, so we contacted the lawyer who she sent to represent her the last time, and the lawyer told us he had not received any instructions to represent her, so he could not appear before the committee.
He said the committee would not continue to give the minister more time, yet they're constrained to work within 15 days and report back to the House. Until the report is released, the committee is to continue examining the evidence and proceed without any input from the accused minister.
The minister is not the only minister in the Ministry of Lands, so such a controversial issue she should have attended, and we had also coped the Prime Minister in, so I don't think that would have been an excuse. She's the one who requested for more time, and we gave her the time.
While interacting with the minister's lawyer, who never presented his instructions to act on her behalf, he declined to commit to the members on the appearance of the minister today.
It's not my decision to take. Now, on the basis of that response, the client now forms an opinion on whether to appear or otherwise. But for now, I would be acting outside instructions.
Mpande Norman last week told the committee that they are expecting the Speaker and the Attorney General to respond to the petition filed by Namuganza over sub judice. The accused also told the committee that the time being given to her is not enough to offer justice.
We're going to start evaluating the evidence effective today to see which evidence is admissible and which one is not. And after then, we shall establish which one has a prima facie case. And this will take place between today afternoon up to Wednesday. On Thursday, we shall prepare a report, and on Friday, we shall hand over the report.
The committee is now left with 3 days to report back to the Speaker on finalizing the establishment of whether the evidence adduced amounts to a prima facie case.
All right, Honorable Mwine Mpaka still waiting for the Honorable Minister, who did not make a show once again. And while remembering that Norman Pande, number one, when he appeared before the Parliamentary Select Committee, and that was on Friday. Number one, he had said that, you know, this was being hurried, and he coined that when justice is hurried, it is buried. And he also went ahead to say that the client hadn't been served with the evidence, and the evidence that was being adduced were allegations. And when he was asked to take the evidence on behalf of the client, he said that was not in his power. He said that was not an instruction that he had received, and also he needed to first scrutinize the evidence that was given to him, and therefore he could not just take any sort of evidence that was being given to him by the members of parliament. It was quite an interesting, controversial issue happening through. And when he was asked that like you saw in the clip at the start, when he was asked that the client would be called back on Monday, which was yesterday, which truthfully so yes is the cabinet day. He said it was cabinet and the client couldn't be able to show up, but the select committee chairperson says, well, look here, there's so many other members of or ministers in the Ministry of Lands, and therefore if one is not around, it doesn't mean, and this is a state minister, not a cabinet minister. So he's saying that's no reason for the minister, you know, to snap this committee to snap this committee meeting. Remembering well, according to the timelines, the report has to be given in by the 23rd. That will be the end of this committee, and you can be able to calculate your days, you know, what is the date today, 17th, and how many more days do they have to be able to hand in this report, and that it is tabled on the floor of Parliament, and that it is actually discussed. Remember, preceding this, there had been a censure motion that was moved, and of course supported by Honorable Dan Kimosho, moved by Honorable Dan Kimosho right at the floor of Parliament. And when that motion was moved, The signatures that are, of course, required by law, by the rules of Parliament, 170 of those. But it is said that by the time the select committee was appointed for it to start its work, over 200 people had signed this censure motion. It was pretty interesting. And remember, I've told you this, when one of the members of Parliament said, Honorable Namuganza in herself is lovable, she's a nice woman, but we are censuring the bad manners in her. That was the best for me. That was the best comment for this particular censure motion. But anyway, we'll continue giving you all the updates of this select committee as it does come through. Of course, our able parliamentary team will be on ground. For now, Uganda has a lot of interesting conversations that do come through. But allow me move on to Soroti and find out what is happening. Eddie Enuru speaking about vandalism of streetlights. You vandalize streetlights and the next day you're complaining about darkness and the insecurity that could come with that. Anyhow, Eddie Enuru, streetlights off, that means it's a dark city in the night. Any arrests that have been made so far?
Very good morning, Mildred. Certainly, where I am coming to you live from is one of the streets. It is Serere Street. What I can tell you, it is just that I've come early in the morning, but if I'd come here in the night, you would see how dark this street would be. But just right behind me is those are the lights that were installed. They were installed under Woodsmith. Now you can see all that fleet of line has been vandalized. There is not even one panel. Now the city authorities installed about 54 street lights right here in this street. But out of 54 street lights that were installed, only about 16 of them have been destroyed and stolen. Now out of this, also about 5 of them are only lighting. Now residents of Soroti City have raised concern over the level of vandalism and theft of street lights in these Woodsmith roads that were installed. Now residents are concerned that even when these are being vandalized, no one is concerned. Now this is even being done in front of the cameras, the surveillance CCTV cameras that were installed. Now, right, Mildred, if I can show you, just right over there, there is a camera there, a surveillance camera for police, just a few meters or so away from me, in front of me. Just if I could show you right over there, there is a surveillance camera just in front of me right there, and you can see that all those streets, all those street lights, the solar panels have been removed, and this is what I'm talking about. No one is telling us, no one is telling us the reason. Police is not showing us, police is not releasing any report, releasing any video of anybody doing this. But of course, we will be here, and of course, we will be tasking them, putting them on task to tell us why those CCTV cameras, whether those CCTV cameras are working, why they are just installed there, and vandalism is being done in front of cameras. I mean, that is what is happening. 2 streets right here in Soroti, Central Avenue streets, and also we have Serere Street. All these street lights were installed in the street. Of course, now there is a lot of complaints. Also, many cases have been registered, cases of robberies done in the night in these dark streets, Mildred. That is what is happening in the Soroti City. Back to you, the Political Command Center, Mildred.
All right, thank you very much, Eddie Enuru. Definitely where there is darkness, that is a recipe for disaster, especially when it comes to, insecurity, robberies, and so many other things. Theft, you don't want to talk about the worst of it that could come out of that darkness, but sometimes you ask yourself why people would decide to do that when they know that they're disadvantaging the entire community. But if there is CCTV footage, I think police should be in the right position to be able to get whoever the vandals are, whoever the culprits are, because this is to the detriment of the entire society. You cannot put the society at stake because you want to get some 100,000 shillings or whatever from a solar panel that you're taking out of this street light. But that's a conversation that we'll continue with at a later stage. Let's now get to sport. It's energy from the sport this morning team, and Premier Sport is on. Andrew Kabura and Brian Tuka giving us the latest of what's happening in the world of sport. Over to you, Andrew.
Welcome aboard. This is NBS Sport this morning. As you can see, we are already busy preparing for the next fixture of the Uganda Cranes on Wednesday. But we also have confirmation that Morocco now are officially out of the African Nations Championship. And what a pleasure. We are hosting the new Gazelles manager, Alberto Antuna. Will be live in studios this morning as we find a way forward for women's basketball in this country ahead of a continental championship. My name is Andrew Kabura. Here is Premier Sport. Welcome back. Tuka Brian joins me for the analysis on this one. Let's quickly start off with Ugandan basketball this morning, where the Federation of Uganda Basketball Association yesterday unveiled Alberto Antuna as the new head coach of the women's team, the Gazelles. Now, Antuna, the Spanish coach, joins with experience, having worked with Montenegro as the assistant coach. He replaces the UCU Cannons head coach, Nicolas Natwereza, who will be his assistant, while Mavita Ali and Henry Malinga are part of the technical team. His immediate task will be to guide Uganda to the Zone 5 qualifiers as the side seeks a ticket to the Afrobasket, and the provisional squad for the Zone 5 in Lugogo due the 14th to the 19th of February has as well been summoned and will immediately start preparations. It's a new dawn.
Definitely, and it's beautiful for the girls' game because I know how much improvements, for example, George Galanopoulos made when he joined the senior team for the men. That's the Silverbacks. Yep. So this guy here comes with a lot of experience. Many people may be talking about Americans as those that you know about playing the best basketball. But if you pay keen attention to basketball across the world, Euro basketball is some of the best basketball you'll ever watch. And for us to have someone from Europe, I think it can only make these girls better. We hope that it can improve them. Of course, the squad they've called is quite big. We're talking about 28 girls. Yeah. Is he going to have enough time for him to pick out what he needs? We hope so, because maybe 4 or 5 days should be good enough. Of course, there's going to be questions about fitness. These girls most of them, if not all, last played when their teams were in action. Now, the fitness is definitely going to be an issue, but I'm sure the coach will be looking at basic things, a few things here and there to work with, and he says this, I can work with the others. Probably can wait a bit. But the other beautiful part of the story is the assistants he's got to work with. Folks who know these girls, folks who know Ugandan basketball. Absolutely, especially Nicolas Natwereza. Right. Arguably the best coach in the country in terms of development, but also now coaching at all levels. So I'm sure it's going to be very key to him. Mavita Ali herself, she's coaching the KCCA Leopards, so she will have a say in all this. But most especially Nick, who has seen some of these girls much earlier in their career, so he knows the strengths and weaknesses, so it's going to be a huge part in helping. At the start, I think for me, in terms of selecting the final team, Nick will have a big say. All right, let's drop Ugandan basketball and head over to the African Nations Championship, where there were 2 games yesterday, including a 6-goal thriller between Mali and Angola. But in the other game, the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon through Nyom Mbekeli and his header were 1-0 winners over the Congo Brazzaville. As the action does go through today as well, Mozambique will take on Libya, and then Algeria will be up against Ethiopia. Those are pictures from the Cameroon up against Angola game. It is starting to look tasty now. We are getting to that tricky part of the tournament, match 2. I think match 2 is where we'll get to that level that you talk about, because match day 1, I think most of these teams come into this, the key element in all this is avoid defeat, because if they beat you in the first game, you're going to be... On this part of the continent, the focus is on tomorrow, as Uganda will be up against Senegal. That will be at 10 p.m. and then the DRC up against Cote d'Ivoire at 7 p.m. The action is live on Sanyuka Prime. Let's stay with Ugandan football this morning, because the Uganda Premier League champions Vipers have confirmed additions to their squad this morning with the signing of the Ivorian forward Ahmed Desire Titi
a 24-year-old who joins the Venom on a 2-year contract. Now he joins the Chitende-based club after parting ways with the Tunisian top flight team, Sidi Bouizi. Of course, he brings a lot of experience to the Vipers dressing room, having featured for a number of top clubs in Europe and on the African continent. Previously, the forward featured for the Kuwait sides like Al Sulaybika, Al Sahel, Al Jadra, Al Shabab, and he also, of course, had a short spell in 2021-2022 at the Portuguese Division 2 side, Académico Viseu. They are making changes, and clearly the target is numbers up front ahead of the CAF Champions League.
Well, most of these players, to be sincere, we go with the CVs that we are given, or if you try to look him up, that's what we go for. And I've had a couple of teams in there, so for a 24-year-old to have played for all those teams, it only means one thing.
Yeah.
Probably started playing football as early as
14.
probably 18 to go pro, and now that he's even played in North Africa. What this means is that that's a lot of experience to add to the Vipers team, and they will need it on the continent. So we hope that the players can. I've not been impressed with what they have so far in terms of the contingents, the ones who have played at least something in the league. So we can only hope that Titi can give them something extra, more than what the other guys have given them. What they are looking out for is someone close to Cesar Manzoki.
Yeah.
And that's why you've seen them signing all these big forwards, including Karim Ndugwa, to give them something close to what Cesar gave them. So we hope that the coach can work with this team and make them better and clearly do well on the continent.
Okay, there you go. Vipers confirming the signing of 24-year-old Ahmed Desire Titi. Let's quickly move on and stick with the league this morning, though, because the 2022-2023 Star Times Uganda Premier League first round operational review meeting with UPL CEOs, FUFA Competitions Committee, the UPL Secretariat, referees, Star Times, FUFA TV, Sanyuka Prime, and of course the FUFA Competitions Disciplinary Panel has been held to review the first round of the season as well as prepare for a better second round. And that is basically supposed to look at issues like officiating, hooliganism, and any other issue that is rising from the first round. And this is an important engagement.
It is, and these engagements have always been held, or had, or what can I call, held, or meetings, whatever you want to call it. The problem I have with this is that after all these meetings, when you think actually now, the clubs have gone to the Uganda Premier League and expressed their grievances, express what they hope to see, especially in the second round, and in the future, they will move out of there and they will still be complaining that we said this and this has not been done. And then, of course, also that we couldn't do a couple of things this way and the other. I hope when you hold such meetings as UPL clubs, you express exactly what your grievances are and where you want to see the league go in terms of improvements, not only just sitting and talk about the things that may not matter. But what that also means is that when they meet and things don't work out, it means that the UPL are not entirely in charge of their own secretariat. Yeah. That's a worry for the club. All
right, moving away from the Star Times Uganda Premier League, we quickly cross over to headlines. Ukraine this morning. Shakhtar Donetsk's president, Rinat Akhmetov, has donated $25 million of the fee received